This sibling seems to be thriving. Maybe they won't, maybe they're pretty cool, you know? Whereas Jay was just like, I don't know you, and I'm not going to need to know you because you are not my mom. And I think Downa had an easier time trusting. And I've seen this with other kid groups, is that kids trust adults that other kids trust.
Huh, okay.
Did not know that before D. And then I think Noah also had that similar experience. And Downa and Noah are still very close. And so they had that experience that was really awesome. And Jay has had experiences where they get to do a lot of things that their younger siblings don't get to do. And I just think it was very hard every time. And some of it was, you know, right before we got matched with D, my birth parents showed up, not my birth mother, not my birth parents. My birth aunt showed up, I think a few months before we got matched.
Okay. So before you matched with your second child, your birth aunt, this is the sister of your mother or birth mother. So your birth aunt comes searching for you, not your birth mother or your birth father.
Right.
And how does that come about?
Well, the story is that I was supposed to be in a closed adoption, and they were in a town, we'll call it like 45 minutes from the town that I grew up in. And they placed, and my parents adopted, but my father had a friend that lived in between these towns because of his job, that knew that they were adopting a little baby and knew the story because they just blabbed the information everywhere.
Your adoptive parents.
Yes, my dad. So my dad had a friend that they were obviously because they were excited. We're adopting a baby. The birth mother's 16. Whatever. We got it through this OBGYN. That woman also knew, or that couple also knew, my birth mother and my birth mother's mother, because she worked with my birth mother's mother.
Because your birth parents are only about 45 minutes away.
And they're all small towns in in the middle of South Carolina. And my father's job took him like throughout the entire state. So it just happened to be this family, but mostly the woman, because what I understand is the woman worked with my birth step grandmother.
Okay, so we're gonna have to label things so that people can follow along.
We'll call them by people's names. Okay.
We don't have to put their real names out there. But when you say your mother or father, you're talking about your adoptive parents. That's an automatic default.
Parents. That's right.
So your dad, who was your adoptive father, worked all along the state.
Yes.
He had it. Your adoptive parents had a friend.
Yes.
That knew the family of your birth, that knew your birth family.
And my birth mother, we'll call her Anne, had a stepmother, and the stepmother worked with this friend.
Okay.
So the friend also knew the stepmom's story. And
did they know this the entire time, or
my parents never knew?
Okay.
But the friend knew and told my birth mother's family who I was going to and where I was and what I was doing and about my parents and what they did and all this stuff.
So your birth family always knew where you were.
They always knew. So around 34, right before my 34th birthday, let me get this right. No, right before my 33rd birthday, they showed up. Excuse me. My Anne's sister contacted me on my work email because she knew my name. So she just Googled me. We'll call her Jill.
Now, this is your work email, and this is your 34, so it's 2004-ish.
This is right before my 34th birthday. So
okay. Are you when you get this email, are you at work? Because it's smart.
So it's smart. So it gets a little better because my family, my mom and dad, each had a lot of siblings, and I grew up in the town that my dad grew up in. And his family, he only had one sibling, but I had a very large extended family. My grandmother had 8 brothers and sisters. So to have someone contact me and say, "Hi, Emily, it's Aunt Jill. I just want you to know I'm thinking about you," would be weird, but not totally off brand for an elderly aunt who just got emailed. Right?
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
So I called my mom from work that day and said, "Hey, Ma, who's this lady? Her name is so-and-so. And she says she's my aunt. And I think I remember an aunt so-and-so. Is that so-and-so's sister?" And my mom was like, "I don't know that person. We're going to have to ask your dad," because it would have been somebody. The thought was it would probably be somebody from my dad's side. It was not. And then it clicked with my mother in the conversation that day that it was probably my birth family reaching out. And then over the years, the story of how they found me and how they knew who I was has come out.
And that was basically through a Google search. Yeah. Okay.
They knew my name. I mean, if you know somebody's name,
yeah, you can get everything that you want. You can find on the internet. Yeah.
And they knew I'd moved to DC. They knew, and they've been following me, right? Or following me through this word of mouth from this mutual connection.
If you like that clip, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to catch up on all of our latest content. Don't forget to hit the notification button when you do subscribe so you can get updated every time we release content. We release content every day, whether it's an actual show or clips from the shows. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Also, don't forget our Patreon page where you can find our Talking Straight-ish and After Hours Uncensored episodes. That's patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives. But once again, thank you again for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, and I'm going to catch you next time. I'll holla.